This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
Well, hi there. Always a good thing to see your smiling faces, or vice versa. I'm Ray, he's Kenny, and he's got something you'd like to share with you.
Yes, I do. It's called the show's lineup, and straight ahead on the program, the unique partnership between UGA Tifton and area sod farmers. We'll hear from two experts in the industry about the many exciting things that are going on right now. Also on the program, pull out that portable grill, load that cooler, and let's go tailgating. It's football season, and that means quick and easy recipes that'll make even your arch rivals want to stay for the meal.
And then later, urban farming, its ever-increasing popularity, and how this Atlanta urban farm is already making an impact on the local community. All this and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor. The more things change, the more they stay the same, so they say, right? Well, for the UGA turf team in Tifton, that is absolutely not the case. Something new 2 years ago is now old technology. In fact, at this exact moment, they're developing a new hybrid of grass that requires less mowing. Yeah, sign me up, right? And with partnerships like the one they have with Supersod in Fort Valley, the technology will only get better with time.
You know, it's a pretty good time to be in the turf industry. New home sales are picking up a little bit. They're still off of their peak in 2006, and our business is directly tied to home sales. Putting in grass in new homes is the biggest portion of our market. Overall, it's a pretty good time to be in the turf business. You know, wet years like this one have their challenges just like dry years do.
So my favorite part of the job is actually new hybrids, and we try to make about 5,000 or 10,000 new hybrids every year. And through years and years of testing, working with homeowners, working with sod farmers, we take that from 5,000 or 10,000 down to 1 over a period of 10, 20 years. But my favorite part is the unknown. Every year, those 5,000 plants could be the next superstar, and that's my favorite part. But it's also great to see a partnership with, say, the industry. Here today at Supersod, we worked on it for 22 years in Tifton, and they've taken it in the last several years and have taken it from, a 10 square foot plot in Tifton to thousands and thousands of acres out here in the real world. So that's fun also.
We really tried to change the face of the industry. For a long time, our #1 sale turf type was 419 Tifway Bermuda. It was developed in Tifton in 1960 is when it was released. And there's not much you use in your daily life that's still from 1960. Pickup trucks didn't have air conditioning in 1960 to give you a little reference point. So we're really now in this stage where we're accelerating, looking at new turf grasses. Got a lot of new things to offer that we haven't just 5 years ago. Tif-Tuff being primarily the one, a grass that's bred specifically to use less water, has tons of other benefits as well. But it's really time to look. The industry's changed so much and our products have changed so much. It's time, you've got an old lawn, it's time to think about something different.
To step back, if you asked on a national scale what the most important trait is, it would be drought tolerance, but it's not always dry. And Ben and his family have worked with the Tifton program for decades, and a couple years ago he actually stopped in and was looking at new zoysiagrass crosses, and there was one in particular that he and I went to, and it was very low growing, and kind of through research in the last couple years we're noticing it needs to be mowed less. So that's a whole different avenue with a different species, but it's also one that I think would interest homeowners as the reduction of mowing. So a lot of research yet to do on that one. It took 22 years to develop Tif-Tuff. We hope it doesn't take 22 years for this new one, but whether it's disease tolerance, drought tolerance, low mowing, those are all ideas we're trying to follow up on there at the Tifton Research Station.
Less mowing, I'm in as well. Meantime, after its launch just over a year ago, the Village Community Garden in Sylvester has quickly become a staple around that area as it provides not only food but also hands-on experience and educational opportunities to the youth. David Jones has the story.
With all kinds of fruits and vegetables growing from the ground, on wires, and even in aeroponic towers, it's hard to believe that just a year ago, none of this existed. And even harder to believe the man spearheading the operation was not a farmer, but rather a local artist.
You know, when we first came here, there was just an open space here in most people's mind. But as an artist, I could see what we're working on right now, and I even see greater things happening here.
And now the Village Community Garden in Sylvester is growing everything from blueberries to eggplant. It's a project that not only helps feed the community, but also exposes the younger generation to agriculture.
We feed a lot of people here in the community. We have a great time working with young people. We have the aeroponic towers here. We work with Fort Valley State University, and once again, we have a great time here with the young people.
While everyone in the community, both young and old, help tend to the garden, its main focus is on the kids, as it shows them a different side of the industry.
They may think that agriculture is just tractors and plows. What you see all around you is that this is much more than tractors or plows. This is about changing lives and saving lives.
And a great example of this is field manager Janiyah Green, who makes the trip over here every single day after school to make sure things are running smoothly. It's passion this 4-H'er developed from an early age.
I was born and raised on the farm with my grandfather, and we've done a lot of different things with this. And my grandfather is also a supporter of the garden, and he helps us as well as out in the other garden at his field. And he raised me up on the field, and I felt like I could bring that knowledge from there to here and also learn about the aeroponics.
And what she enjoys most about the experience is getting a chance to incorporate new techniques in the field.
The technology, I like both. I call it old school and new school. I like both. I was raised with old school, but now the new school is like a new way for me just to learn about how to do agriculture, and for like a new tech way to do agriculture.
We want to have young people that have the hands-on experience and knowledge in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics through 4-H positive youth development experiences, so that as they matriculate from high school, they'll be ready for higher education and they'll be college ready.
While kids might be the main focus, it's clearly not the only one, as this garden has helped an entire community that was quick to embrace it.
My whole thing is there a way to bridge art and agriculture? So that's my real interest here. But my number one interest is helping the people, helping a community like this community, Sylvester, Georgia, to become a better place to live. It's a great place to live, but we can even make the best better.
With this being the example, Hayes hopes this is just the first of many community gardens to pop up around the state.
Now, the way that it is here doesn't mean that it has to be like this wherever you would like your village garden to be. But what it does is it helps to start the conversation that leads to the creation of change that we want to see in our neighborhoods.
Reporting from Sylvester, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, Damon, nice job. Up next, time to get your grub on. We're going tailgating with home economist Marcia Crowley. Simple and easy recipes for your next pregame party.
Yes, listen to it, take it in, soak it in, enjoy it. That there, ladies and gentlemen, the most famous fight song in all the land. That of the Fighting Panthers of Eastern Illinois University. Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Meals from the Field. Joining me, as always, my dear friend Marcia Crowley. Good to see you again. And if you haven't guessed by now, it is late August. Going into September, football season is here, so what are we talking about today?
We're talking about portable food,
tailgating.
AKA tailgating.
Yes, absolutely, and we do love the Fighting Panthers fight song. But Marcia, in all due respect, is an Auburn grad, so we will give a shout out to the Tigers as well. Okay. So what do we got though today?
Better not forget the Bulldogs though.
And the Bulldogs as well. Can't forget because we are in Georgia. So yes.
We are making, the first thing is a rice black bean tomato salad.
Okay.
And it is so good and it holds up beautifully. Everything here you ideally can do the night before you head out. All right, this is a 10-ounce package of yellow rice. And you cook it according to package directions. You're going to add to it about 3 cups of chopped tomato, a bell pepper chopped. Seems like we've been using lots of peppers here lately.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
And a chopped onion. Just add that to that. And like I said, this holds up for several days and just doesn't go soggy. We've got a can of black beans, rinsed and drained.
Okay.
And if you don't rinse them and drain them, everything will look the same color as the black beans.
And if you haven't noticed, we have a very special guest today, our friend the fruit flies.
The fruit flies. So this is how fresh these segments are.
We've been trying to catch them for a while now.
And then the dressing is balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and basil. And you just pour that over the top like that. Mix it up really good. Cover it for at least 2 hours. You can serve it at room temperature. But like I said, it's really good with whatever you're grilling. If you don't like black beans, you could use another bean or leave them out altogether. You could use another kind of rice. This one's just really pretty. Like I said, this was a hit with my...
and you're pretty much done. It's that easy to make.
It's that easy to make. The hardest part is chopping stuff, which is the case with just about anything.
Well, that's why you have electric blenders and stuff like that to throw it in. So we're done with that one?
We're done with that one. I've told you it's very
All
easy.
right,
And
so then there's
so good.
we'll show everybody that one, how nice and pretty that is. And yeah, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with that.
And if you want to eliminate some of the carbs, obviously, you could just eat it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right, I'm going to move this over here. This is a pecan blue cheese ball.
Okay.
And this is 8 ounces of cream cheese, somewhat softened. You could double this as needed. A half a cup of blue cheese. If you don't like blue cheese, you could use feta or I don't know what else, another crumbled in here. And it's got 1/4 cup of minced onion. I think everybody likes a cheese ball.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong with them.
You can't go wrong with them. And then 1/4 cup of sharp cheddar cheese that's been shredded.
Sometimes the cheese ball is the first thing to go.
It's because it's so easy to eat, you know. And then 1/2 cup of chopped Georgia pecans. We've got a lot of dishes going on here. All right, we're going to pretend, for the sake of time, that this is mixed up better than it is. But a little trick I have found when making a cheese ball is to take a bowl or whatever shape you want, line it with plastic wrap.
Oh, okay.
And then you just transfer this over there, hopefully. And we're going to pretend that it's all in there. And you just, make sure it's all pressed down easily in the bowl or the shape you want to use. You cover it, and then you put it in the refrigerator. And when you go to put it on the plate, you just invert it.
Okay.
And you've got the little half ball thing.
Or what you could do, if you want to bring your friends a gift to the tailgating,
you could just do that.
You do this, and then you put a little bow on here, and you go here.
I don't think they'd be real happy with that.
That's what I would do.
That's what you would do. All right, the last
so we got
thing.
so we got the cheese ball here, and I noticed this when I first came in here today. Notice the little footballs on there. This little football knife, perfect for tailgating. So there's your cheese ball, little Triscuit action going on.
And like I said, this is really, I've made this a bunch. It's really good. All right, the last thing is a little roll up. And this is another thing, obviously, you make ahead. You take a tortilla, and you can use the plain tortillas, or you can use the sun-dried tomato ones, or the spinach, whatever you want, but it needs to be flour, not the corn. And this is a mixture of cream cheese, again, peppers, onions, black olives, and a packet of ranch dressing mix.
Oh, wow, okay.
And you just spread that on here. And then you're going to roll it up almost to the edge. Put the stuff almost to the edge.
Here's where I get confused. So you have to show me the proper way to roll it.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll pretend there's enough stuff on
Now,
there.
is there a separate way? Because I know when you make big, huge burritos, there's a proper way to roll it. With these roll-ups, is there a special way?
I have no idea.
Okay.
All right, you
Do your
just-
magic.
All right, just pretend it's almost to the edge.
Okay.
You're just going to roll it like this. You want every bite to have a little bit of the
Sure.
goody stuff in there. All right, then you're going to wrap it up in saran wrap like this
Okay.
and refrigerate it. And when you go to serve it, you would cut off the ends because there's not going to be anything on there.
Right.
And you just cut it like 1-inch pieces, and these will go really quick.
There's the finished product.
But like I said, if you don't like black olives, add more of the pepper or the onion. You could add chopped meat,
Sure.
but they go really fast.
And it's
this-
that simple.
It makes about 60 appetizers.
All right. Well, as always, folks, you can find all these recipes by logging on to gfb.org/recipes. Everything is there for you in detail. And like we said, it's pretty easy to make. If I can make it, you can make it. We do want to wish all the best of luck this year
To all the teams.
to Auburn, to Georgia, to Georgia Tech, to Eastern Illinois. Any team that you're a fan favorite of, we wish you guys the best of luck. Marcia,
Thank you,
good
Greg.
luck to you this year in
Thank
football
you.
season. Folks, we'll see you next month.
Ray, Marcia, great job. Hey, don't forget, if you missed any part of today's Meals from the Field or other stories for that matter, you can see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel. That is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Once there, browse the archive of stories that date back to 2009. Also, keep clicking and like the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page. Send us some feedback too. If you have a story idea or if you just want to leave us a message or comment, feel free to send us a message either on Facebook or at the address you see there on the screen. It is news@farm-monitor.com. When the Monitor continues planting new life in downtown Atlanta. As the city continues to grow in population, so does the need for fresh, locally grown food. We'll introduce you to two farmers who are not only talking about it, they're making it happen.
Between the Oakland City and Adair Park neighborhoods in downtown Atlanta sits the urban farm at West Side Trail, the Atlanta Beltline's first agricultural site. There's no fancy tractors or machinery or high-tech irrigation systems, just two farmers with a deep passion for what they do.
I did not grow up in the country. I grew up in the city. I didn't grow up from a farming family. I didn't really have much idea of what it entailed. So like my family had always been a part of a CSA, a community supported agriculture program since I was like 6 years old. So I did have that sort of contact with the farm. Like we got a box of vegetables every week in the summertime. We'd go visit the farm. So I had that, perception there, but I didn't know what it was going to be like. And then when I started farming, it's just one of those things where you look around and then you can't imagine ever doing anything else.
To be able to take the site from what it was to what it is now, it's a big challenge. Coming out here when we first visited the site and seeing just how rough kind of the ground was. It's been compacted by trucks, the soil been taken away. Not much was growing, it's really scrubby. And just seeing what we're able to grow out here is also tough. It's rough, but then seeing the transformation from vegetables growing in our first season really exceeded our expectations in the first year, which is pretty awesome.
Andrea Ness credits that early success to a rotation of cover crops, which were desperately needed considering the soil condition or lack of when they first arrived on the property. According to Ness, soil tests were taken, and the results, quote, some of the strangest readings she has ever encountered.
Super high sulfur, super low phosphorus, like very little organic matter, basically saying like there wasn't much there to work with. We knew it was gonna be a big endeavor, but seeing those results really drove it home. We're like, oh yeah, this is not land that's ever had anything growing on it before. Like it's totally new. We're actually not the only farm over in this general area. There's actually a fair amount of urban farms doing their thing over in the West End, Capitol View, but it's not enough. People need more options for fresh vegetables than we have, and so it felt really great to be a part of creating that solution. That was really fun.
We want this to be a productive and self-sustaining farm. So we wanted to be able to employ both of us. Hopefully we'll have people that we'll be able to bring on as employees. It'd be great to be able to do that from people from the neighborhood, to be involved in the community. We want to be able to feed the community, and that means to us, people in all the surrounding neighborhoods, we'd like to be a place where they can come and get fresh vegetables, another option. And we know that we're going to be right here on the Beltline, so we're going to have people coming from outside the community here as well.
Finally today, think your schedule is hectic? Maybe so, but chances are it's nowhere near as crazy as that of U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Sonny Perdue.
That's right, Ray. Since taking office, he's been nonstop. In fact, Secretary Perdue recently endured a 5-state tour to gather input on the 2018 Farm Bill, and the cameras were rolling every step of the way.
To be here to begin our Back to the Roots tour right here at the Wisconsin State Fair. We're looking forward to hearing from the real farmers of Wisconsin. We are honored to be here. Our goal at USDA is to trade and sell this bountiful harvest and bountiful production that U.S. producers do. We're coming back to our roots because the people in that barn today are the roots of American society. The great farmers and producers, great American spirit in there. Look at what American agriculture has done. How can we do that in the rest of the economy? Well, I'm learning and listening. We're meeting with farmers all over the upper Midwest. Thank you very much. Good deal. Some specific ideas, and we'd love to inform Congress in the next Farm Bill. A blue ribbon. It's not about me, it's not about what I know, but it's about what you all can teach me out here. We talked about cover crops and how farmers are working toward reducing runoff. It's about the 3 issues. They said, what are issues? I said, tradition, nutrition, and competition for the fair. My goal is to make sure we do no harm to agriculture in those negotiations. We're happy to be here representing USDA in this great partnership with the NFL and the dairy industry, talking about Fuel to Play 60 with these kids, and I've learned a lot from them this morning. This is the conclusion of our 5-state tour. We began up in Wisconsin, moved on up into Minnesota, across over into Iowa, down to Illinois, and back here in Indianapolis. And what we found are great agricultural states right here in the heart of the Midland that contribute to the prosperity of America.
Good stuff. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Here's a reminder for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm. Be sure and check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming and with us on the show.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.